Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bishop's RV in Junction City, Oregon today with a Rockwood 296 HW. This is a camper that asks the question, what if we took an entire tandem axle travel trailer and shoved it down into a suitcase? That is basically what we're looking at here today. It's a giant suitcase mutant because it has all the features of a full travel trailer, but it packages down into something that's an easy towing, short length, short height tandem axle that you could park in a garage, that you could put into places that a traditional travel trailer just can't handle, and you can tow with vehicles that a traditional tandem axle travel trailer might be too big for. Now this thing is, as far as I know, this is the single largest pop-up in production today. If that's not correct, my apologies. Leave me a little comment, leave me a link, let me know which one is. But this thing weighs about 3,600 pounds. And you notice I give you specs with this both in its closed position as well as its open camp position, because it opens up into such a large thing out of such a small space. I think you got to kind of be aware of both sides of this. We've got king and queen beds. It has a little bathroom that, while lacking in privacy, if it's a late night Taco Tuesday emergency and it's raining outside, you're not going to have to put on a raincoat to get to the bathhouse at the campground, if you know what I mean. What's funny is a couple people have asked me, Josh, every year you record the 277, why not the 296? What do you have against it? I don't have anything against any of these campers. I just record what I can get my hands on, man. All right, so I apologize in advance. I'm going to be moving a little bit faster than normal. Which admittedly is about a turtle's pace, and I think a lot of people agree that I probably could pick up the pace most of the time. But it's the end of the day, and I had a few minutes, and I said, if I move and groove, I can squeeze one more in today. So that's what I'm doing. But it's also the 7th or 8th full video I've recorded today, and my battery box supplies are exhausted and recharging, so we do not have lights inside. In a way, though, I think that's almost a benefit, that you get to see how much natural light can actually come in through these panels. And that's the cool thing about pop-ups. You want 360-degree viewing, they can give you viewing everywhere. And by the way, there are sliding panels, kind of like old school bus windows. You see those finger tabs on there? If you want to drop that down even partially, you can keep some fresh airflow moving in that one-piece entry door, because you see that the travel door swaps out. The front end of this is really the major difference between this and the 277 Highwall. It's extended a little bit, where basically instead of the storage trunk, you have this extra sofa. Now it is slightly bigger than that, but it's giving you the extra seating space to stay in here beyond just a dinette. Now, a couple things up front. This one, in my haste, I realized I put the shepherd's hookup under what I call the baby hammock, the cargo net. Thankfully, I don't think I did the same stupid thing in the back. 70 by 80 heated king bed up front, in case you're a little bit of a hothead, you can have a hot body. And you've got the bunk light fan up here to help keep that airflow moving. Now you see that little free-floating folding leg table, which is tricky to say unless you've done it 1,000 times like I have. Well, by default, I think right in front of the sofa is the most obvious location to use that. But since it is free floating, nothing says you have to use it only inside the RV. You could just as easily pop it outside and use it there. Now I'm moving pretty fast, and I hadn't opened these pockets up earlier. That looks like that's our power cord down in there. See our little TV hookups on this little platform here. You could obviously probably put like a pedestal TV up on this big stand as well. But I found a big old batch of bubble wrap, baby. Now, down below that, some household outlets, our converter panel, and the switch for a water heater. Now, I mentioned how this has all the features of a bigger trailer smashed down into, one small suitcase-style camper. One of the few differences this is going to have compared to like most Rockwood travel trailers, for instance, is the fact that it is a gas water heater. I do believe it is auto ignition though, which is still kind of cool. This big U-Dinette, you notice how that slide floor is carpetless just like the main deck, and that can fold down into a pretty sizable bed, which is cool if you need that extra, guest sleeping capacity. Up top, you've got a hugely tall ceiling, standard factory air conditioner, so it's not like something that you have to, upfit and add on. But one of the cool things with their high walls, and this is a very Rockwood Flagstaff kind of thing to do, because those two things are the same camper, in case you didn't know, is they like to do and instead of or. They do the big ceiling vent fan that runs off 12 volt, and they do the ceiling air conditioner, which runs off 110 park power instead of one or the other. A lot of manufacturers, you'll have just a vent up top, and you have to decide how are you going to use it. I would like some more feedback on this that we can relay to Rockwood here. If you look over here, you see this extra chunk of counter space. But if we open that up, you see that that is your little fold-away mini bathroom right there. The thing is, they did away with the hardwall enclosure, which makes it much easier for me to showcase on camera, but it feels far more exposing. Now, you talk to anyone who's been in a little camper like this, when you're camping together with people, every move you make, every poo you take, someone's watching you. I think that's exactly how that song went, Stinging the Police. I'm not sure. Anyway, you get the idea. My point is there's not a lot of privacy in here. So whether it's a shower curtain or a shower wall, it's the same in effect, but it doesn't feel the same. And I think a lot of people really kind of preferred the hard wall enclosure. I'd love some input on that I can share with them. Now this over here, this has a sweet kitchen. Frankly, this is a better kitchen than you get in most, I don't know, you have to start getting in 25, 26 foot trailers before you find anything that really rivals this. The only thing this kitchen really lacks is some overhead storage, but thankfully, with the higher walls of this camper, you have a full oven, a stainless double sink, a full microwave, and a refrigerator. And those are three-way fridges. So they're 12 volt, 110, and propane. The thing I want to specify there is that is an absorption fridge. That is not an active compressor fridge. A lot of times when you start hearing 12 volt, you start thinking compressor fridge, because those words really blend together in the trailer and fifth wheel market now. So on 12 volt, it will cool the slowest and the least, on 110 better, and then on propane, actually the best. Now this... that is what a proper setup's kind of supposed to look like, although my OCD is getting triggered, because obviously in my haste I didn't center that. I was moving too quickly. But this is what I jokingly refer to as the baby hammock. Just an extra little cargo thing, but you can kind of raise and lower it to the level that you need. So, you know, if you don't want to roll over and get hit by your duffel bag, if you want to keep that stuff up there, you can keep it out of the way. And it does have a couple handy little hanging pockets there. In the back, this is a true queen, by the way. So that's a 60 by 80 queen. We have a 70 by 80 king up front, which is weirdly one of the things pop-ups do very well, is they are some of the very best at giving us big sleeping spaces in a small towing size. And again, apologies if I'm moving at a more accelerated pace today. They're about to lock me out of the building, and if I don't get the keys to my rental car, I'm gonna be sleeping in one of these tonight, basically. But again, this is a big pop-up as far as, well, pop-ups go. Frankly, it's bigger than some fully enclosed travel trailers that I've seen. One of the cool things though is you have a lot of, we still call it canvas, even though it's not canvas, this Duratec material stuff. It's all paneled and sectionalized though, so if you need to do individual service replacements on it, you can do that. Now up front under that sofa, this doesn't have a front storage trunk, but you do have storage space under that sofa. You can either get to here from the side, or you can get to it by lifting the sofa itself. And this is the kind of crazy bonkers part. I don't know of another travel trailer or another pop-up out there, other than this one's identical Flagstaff twin, obviously, that is riding on the torsion axles and suspension. That is not a leaf spring suspension. This little thing, the fact that when it closes, it is probably slightly shorter than a common pickup truck. It might be about the height of a lot of SUVs, maybe slightly smaller than that. It's not super tall, it's 7 foot wide, and it is going to tow extremely well. Now this little storage pocket right here, what's inside that is the griddle that comes included with this. Now, again, it includes a mount, it includes the little side table, and unfortunately I've had to do just a very quick setup and flyby because I could either you know, go back to my hotel room and pick my nose. I don't do that. I do go back to my hotel room though. Or I could knuckle down and I could fly through another camper and I could get you a little bit of extra footage. So, you know, just trying to put in a little bit of extra effort here for you today. Now, one of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize, you saw on that front bed inside the travel door, that actually secures down here. There's a couple little hinges so that when you want that out of the way, it is out of the way. Something else that's very uncommon on this, it does not have a cassette toilet. This is fully self-contained. It's very interesting, but what's weird here is there are a couple sewer outlets. And what's happening is you've got your, you have a black holding tank on the right for the bathroom. On the left is the outlet for the gray tank for the kitchen. Now they do both have tanks. It's not just a direct pipe dump. It's just a weird thing you don't see. They're right next to one another. And I'm wondering if maybe the location of that stabilizer jack just made it a little too clunky to try to hook the two together. That's purely just a theory though. You see those little storage doors? That storage that we saw inside under the dinette can go right here. And holy cow, about 2 steps behind me is a ledge from which there would be no return if I slipped off that thing. So I'm gonna start walking over this direction, get back a little closer. 4-corner front and rear stabilizers keeps that thing nice and sturdy at your campsite. Unlike me, after I've had about 1.5 drinks, I am an ultralight when it comes to things like that. I do not have the constitution for it, and I'm about as unsturdy and unstable as they get. Now this thing is tall. It's big. That roof has to get way up there. You've got a cargo rack on the roof. There's, I believe, roof solar prep. There's the Wi-Fi Ranger up there. There's an air conditioner. You could have a ton of weight on that roof. The cool part is you don't really have to crank it because this thing has the little power winch system on the front doing the lifting for us. You may also notice double propane tanks. Ooh, double vision. You've got the, again, more of a full travel trailer feature. It's got an auto changeover regulator. It's got all those big camper features. It just folds down into a smaller package. And like I said, in terms of headroom, this thing rocks. I'm a little over 6 foot tall, and you can see I got to really reach up here to touch the ceiling in this. That's one of the funny things about pop-ups. They are weirdly good at things you wouldn't think that, because you associate them with small space. Oh, by the way, you see these cardboard boxes behind me? Those are the tongue jacks. When these ship, these big Highwall pop-ups, they ship on flatbeds that if it's a double-decker flatbed, the power tongue jack sticks up too high, and the second deck of can't close. You get the idea. So they have to ship those loose. So like we saw a manual tongue jack on this. This does include a power jack. So I will also leave you a couple links in the description. One, to check for pricing and availability. And remember, this also has an identical twin called Flagstaff. I don't remember the model number on that one offhand. I speak more in Rockwood terms than Flagstaff terms, even though they're all Flagwoods and Rockstaffs, and they're literally the same thing. So if we're sold out of the Rockwood, check the links to see if we have it in stock in a Flagstaff. And this one video applies equally to both campers. I also have a factory video tour that you can see, and I'll leave you a link to the other big Highwall, their 277 with a little camp kitchen, one that I personally like. But if you're looking for the better towing, that extra sofa and seating space, this is your Huckleberry right here. So when you're ready, we're ready. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.